Hello, this is a video announcement for week 3. As always, before you complete this week's task, go up to week 3 and print out the online weekly checklist. Again, it gives you step-by-step instructions of all the tasks that you need to complete to be successful in your major assignment this week, which that is the Grammar Quiz 1. Now, what I want you to avoid is do not jump right into taking the quiz without looking at the modules that I have available to you this week. Some of these are slideshow presentations, others are videos. I have handouts that you need to print out and have on hand as you take the quiz. And you also have self-tests that can be just kind of pre-tests to prepare you for the actual grammar quiz. And this grammar quiz is the first quiz of 5 that you're going to do this semester. All right, well, let's look at some of the handouts and other resources that will be helpful to you. So first thing, make sure under Module 1, there are 2 handouts that you need to print out right off the bat, okay? Letter A and letter B. The first one, letter A, this is a parts of speech handout. If it's been a while since you've even thought about, parts of speech like noun, pronoun, okay, subject, verb, adverb, adjective, prepositional phrases, direct object, indirect object. Okay, if those are somewhat memorable, but you really don't remember what those parts of speech are, you need to ensure that you print out this handout. Most of my students who do the best on the grammar quiz are the ones that print this out and they've read through it. I would even have this on hand as you are viewing the slideshow presentation I'm going to show you in a bit, because it's going to help you know where the sections are, where these parts of speech are in the handout, and it's going to help you learn the concepts better. The other handout, and of course this is letter B, this is a handout that overviews the different sentence types: the simple sentence, the compound sentence, the complex sentence, the compound complex sentence. Again, if it's been a while since you've had to recognize these sentence types, and it's been a while since you've written different structures of sentences, you want to, again, print out this handout. Okay, these are the 2 major handouts I would encourage you to print out and have on hand to help you do really well in the quiz. Okay, there are some other resources. I'm going to show you those very quickly. Now, I have an audio lesson for you. It's a slideshow. Okay, it's right here. It's letter C. It's similar to the slideshows that you had for the previous week, where you had a slideshow for collegiate writing and also a slideshow for a structure of the essay. You need to make sure that you put this in a slideshow presentation, and remember, when you click the speakers, I give a lesson. And again, I go through each part of speech, okay? I start out with noun, okay? Also pronouns, and then I go into finding your subject of your sentence, finding your predicate, your verb, then prepositional phrases, how they play into them. And we talk about objects, okay? We talk about the object of the preposition, okay? The direct object, the indirect object, because sometimes students confuse those objects for their subjects, okay? And then I discuss the 4 sentence types. Step by step, I go over the simple sentence, what it looks like, what it has. Then the compound, the complex, and the compound complex, because I want a variety of sentence structures this semester from you, okay? And I want you to know how to create those sentence structures. So listen to this slideshow, please. It's going to help you perform better on the test, okay? Now, you're going to notice I have tons of video from Khan Academy. It is an online website, and it has educational videos really on any subject area, and these are awesome. I did not make these, but they are very, very helpful to learning these different parts of speech and sentence types. And you have several of these. Notice from D pretty much all the way up until like Q. These are videos that focus in on each of those different concepts and parts of speeches, okay, and also sentence types. So please, I'm begging y'all, watch these. They're really good and educational. And also, sometimes you need to hear from more than one individual. I mean, obviously, I'm your teacher, but just like it takes a village to raise a child, it takes sometimes multiple resources and instructors to help you understand these concepts. So definitely look at these, but also get in the habit of going on YouTube and looking for videos that deal with some of these grammatical concepts. Like if you notice later when I grade your diagnostic essay that you have comma splices, run-ons, fragments, subject-verb agreement, I'm later going to have modules that deal with those errors, but if you want to kind of get ahead and avoid those errors, go on YouTube. I know y'all go on YouTube. My kids are on there all the time. And type in comma splice, fragment, okay? And I can promise you there are tons of videos that are educational that are going to help you avoid those errors and also understand them, okay, for the future. And I hope that these videos, the Khan Academy videos, as well as maybe when you go out and look at other instructional videos on YouTube, will help you, especially those who are visual learners, understand these concepts. I do have some other things as well for those of you that are visual learners. First thing you're going to notice right here, letter M, okay, there is a parts of speech bubble map. When you click on that, you may want to print this out. Obviously, I would print it out in color, and it gives you the parts of speech and breaks down kind of what they are, and it has a visual to help you. So again, if you're visual, you may want to have this printed out as you take the quiz, okay? Also, when we go back to Canvas, you're going to notice there is something else. I have something that overviews the sentence patterns. This is letter S, okay? And when you click on that, you're going to notice it has a really good visual of the different sentence structures, like the simple, the compound, the complex, the compound complex. What I like about this handout is it kind of tells you, okay, if you have an independent clause, these are the different ways that you could punctuate it. Again, this would be a simple sentence, but later on, let's say that you want to create a compound sentence where you put two sentences together. It shows you how to punctuate with a semicolon or with a semicolon and a transitional word, okay? Also, if you want to do a listing, it shows you how to do that with a colon, okay? Or with two sentences where one sentence acts as an introduction and maybe the other could be a quote from someone, okay? And it shows you how to set up your major punctuation. You know, if you use a fanboy, if you use a for, an and, nor, an or, a yet, any of these, I have those listed for you. You have to put that comma to combine them if you have two complete sentences. Also, if you have complex sentences or compound complex sentences where you start a sentence, again, with because or later on since, it shows you where you put the comma. You have that word introduce the clause, the dependent clause, and then you have a comma to connect it with the complete sentence. If you watch the slideshow where I lecture with this with the audio lesson, I explain these, but this visual may help you even better. You may want to print it out so you have this in the future. All right, let's go back there because there's some other resources I want you to look at as well. Now, as far as for when you finish viewing the audio lesson, you also have the two handouts, maybe even print out those handouts that are more visual, okay? You need to self-test yourself to ensure that you know these concepts, and I have several of those for you. One that's really, really good is actually a test that I found online. And it is under letter K. It's the advanced parts of speech quiz. Now, when you click on that, okay, you're going to be taken to this website. Now, you'll have to scroll down. Now, I want to make sure you understand how this is formatted. Now, you have several questions. Now, you're going to have a sentence. Okay, number one, unfortunately, they haven't been paying on time. Okay, and then you have a word in hyphens recently, okay? Now, all of these sentences will have a word that has hyphens on each side. Now, the word that is in the hyphens, that's the word that you want to essentially decide what part of speech it is. So I'm going to help you with the first one, okay? So with the first one, you need to ask yourself, okay, what is recently? Okay, and you're going to look at your options, okay? Now, hopefully, after you watch the lessons, and maybe even the Khan Academy videos, and have the handouts in front of you, you will know that recently is an adverb, and you'll just click the bullet. Now, if you get it correct, it's going to explain why it's correct, but however, if you get it wrong, it will explain why it's an incorrect answer and what part of speech it actually is. Now, I want you to do those questions, and you'll just scroll down again and answer all of those, okay? I promise there's not that many, okay? There's 20. And then there's also a video down here if you want to watch on verbs and adverbs, you can, but it will let you know what questions you get wrong. I mean, this isn't for a grade. It's mainly just for you to practice so you are confident that you know these parts of speech. If you're kind of old school, I know some of you like a hard copy worksheet if you're a tactile or visual learner and you want it in your hands. You're going to notice there's also letter L, the 8 parts of speech assessment worksheet. Okay, and when you click on that, I mean, if you want to print it out, you can and write on it. However, you can just look at this and do it like in your head to know that you know the correct answers. And if you're not sure about any of these, you can just email me. And again, this is not for a grade, it's for practice. Okay, so what you're going to essentially do on the first page, okay, you have a sentence. He walked around the corner. Okay, it's going to ask you to write the preposition that is in this sentence in the blank. So around would be the preposition. So you would write around here, or at least think you know it's around. And you're going to do those with all of those questions. The next page, it basically has a word underlined, and it wants you to state or write out, the part of speech. Like in this case, concert is the word that's underlined. That would be obviously a noun. Okay. Now, again, if there's any of these that you're unsure about, you can ask me, but you need to be confident that you can pick out what these are to help you with the quiz. If you're having trouble with it, that means you need to practice more before you take the first grammar quiz. And I don't want you to just practice the quizzes for the parts of speech. I do have a quiz also for you for the sentence parts. You're going to notice this letter T, this self-test quiz on sentence types. Okay, if you click on that, this is a quiz that is basically asking you to label what these sentences are, okay? Now, this is not going to tell you right off the bat if you get something wrong. It doesn't give you your score until you finish. So just for example, number 1, Pauline and Bruno have a big argument every summer over where they should spend their summer vacation, okay? Now, I would encourage y'all, when you're looking for complex sentences, make sure to look for those dependent words. If you watch my audio lesson, you'll know what those are. Those are either subordinating conjunctions or relative pronouns, okay? And in the packet, the very first grammar handout packet, the parts of speech, those are listed. So it will make your life easier if you have that handout that I told you to print out, because you can look for those words and know automatically that this first sentence, it's a complex sentence, and you'll click it here, okay? Now, you'll go through and label all these other sentences, and again, you'll later submit this, okay, and it will tell you which ones you got right versus which ones you got wrong. And afterwards, you can look at the different sentence types. There's also a quiz list for other grammar lessons. You may want to use this particular resource for other classes as well to help you with the concept of writing in English, okay? Now, again, make sure you look at all these resources. Again, listen to that audio lesson that I have for you, where I'm taking you step by step through all of those parts of speech and sentence types. Have the 2 handouts printed out so you can reference those during the lecture, but also you can reference them during the Grammar Quiz 1. Watch all the videos from Khan Academy. Also, you might want to print out those more visual handouts to help yourself, okay? And absolutely take those self-tests, because you need a practice run before you take the grammar quiz, okay? Now, when you feel confident in yourself, like you're ready to conquer a Grammar Quiz 1, click on Grammar Quiz 1, okay? Now, the good news is you have 3 attempts to take your grammar quiz. So that means you can take this 3 different times, okay? The highest grade that you make would be the grade that's recorded in the grade book. I would encourage you maybe to take the quiz the day after you look at all the information, and then, okay, maybe you want to take it the next day, okay, or wait until Wednesday, and then maybe take it the final time Friday. Just make sure you take it by this Sunday, obviously, because that's when the due date is. Now, to start the quiz, you're going to have a blue button that says Start Quiz, okay, so click on it, but you need to be aware when you start the quiz, you have to finish it, okay? You have a 60-minute time span, which should be more than enough for you to complete the quiz. But just ensure that you understand you have to answer a question and then go to the next question, and you can't go back, okay? Now, just for an example, I wanted to show you a question, what it's going to look like from your end. So question 1 is, read the following sentence and select the sentence's subject, okay? So this is the sentence you need to read. Dr. Carter held a seminar on exercise at the medical center. So I want you to pick out what is the subject of this sentence, and then you want to click on, essentially what the subject is to you. Then you will click the bullet, and then you'll click next, and you'll do that through all the questions. Make sure you, of course, answer all 20, okay? And you will submit. Now, after you finish, it will show you your score, okay? If you're not happy with that score, it's all right. You can take the quiz 2 more times. But make sure you're prepared before you take it the first time. That's my main advice to you. Hopefully, you all have a wonderful 3rd week of class. Again, I look forward to reading your literacy narratives so I can learn about your reading and writing history. And it will help me know how to be a better teacher for you because I'll know who you are as a student. Thank you.